Good evening. We're going to call our the City of Orangeburg Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. It is now 6:09. Good evening to all who are present. My name is Desiree Chavis, and we will have opening our regular meeting. Our first item on our agenda is the consideration of January 29, 2026 meeting minutes. Do I have any corrections to the minutes, or anyone have any corrections? Can I get a motion to accept minutes from the January 29th meeting, 2026?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the January 29th meeting.
Motion has been made to accept the minutes of January 29, 2026 meeting. Can I have a second? Has been moved and properly moved by Leonard Huggins, and second by Buck. What's your last name, Buck? George Buck. All in favor? Can I get a show of hands to accept all the minutes? Any opposed? Minutes have been received. Excuse me. Our third order of business is the election of chairperson and vice chair. We postponed that from the last meeting to this next meeting. So,
I'll make a motion that we postpone it again, Ms. Jacobs.
motion has been made to postpone again. Can I get a second? Second. I need a second. Yeah.
I'll do it.
It's been
I'll vote for
moved by Leonard Huggins to postpone until our next meeting, and second by George Buck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? No opposes. We have no old business. Our new business will be taken from our last meeting. And before we go into the discussion on these items, I ask that all cell phones be silenced. If they ring, I ask you to step out of the room to take your call and put them back on silence and vibrate. We have not our full board. We have a quorum to conduct business. So therefore, with these items that we will be presenting this evening, they were presented at the last meeting. They were tabled to be presented again at another meeting. So what we will do is we will take each one. We had 2 items at our last meeting. This time we have 4, and it's my understanding that they have been separated out to deal with the special exception and the parking of each parcel, not necessarily parcel, but where the apartment or the complexes are being built. So with that being said, these items were combined as one item each for our special exception at the last meeting and parking, and were tabled for further discussion or further info. I now move to take them out of the table and be presented as they are appearing to us tonight. So I've made a motion, board members, to move that we take them from the last meeting as one, and now they are being added as individual, special exception and parking. So I will need a second to take them from being tabled at the last meeting so that we can conduct the business for this meeting. Can I get a second to my motion, please?
I second your motion.
All right. Motion has been made by Chairperson Chavis and seconded by Leonard Huggins. All in favor? Let me show of hands or say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? Okay, with that being said, the first item of business. Oh, before I do that, persons that will be speaking or coming to the podium to speak, we ask that you give your full name. You will have 5 minutes to speak. And then, once we get everyone has spoken, then the board will go back and ask questions. We will just have a discussion, and once the discussion is over, there will be no one else to come back forward, then we will take a vote. If the vote is not in favor of the item that's being presented, and we vote no, the vote has to be unanimous since we only have 4 members. So it has to be a unanimous vote. If the vote is not unanimous, then you can petition your project or your item to the administrative law judge in Columbia. You will be given the forms. If it does not fall in your favor, you will be able to present that to the administrative law judge for them in Columbia to decide if we made any errors in our decision. Does everyone understand? We will make a decision, whatever our decision is, if it's in favor or not in favor. If it's in favor, you will be granted the variance or whatever needed to be granted, and you will have 1 year to finish your project. But if it is not in favor, then you will have time, you will see Mr. Epting, and he will give you the necessary paperwork to file with the AL judge in Columbia. With that being said, we will now take up item 1. Mr. Epting, would you like to give us an overview of item 1, please?
Item 1 is the consideration of a request from Paragon Incorporated of South Carolina LLC for a special exception at 237 and 245 Maxey Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115. Tax map number 0173-15-034.000 and 0173-15-14-033.000 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students.
Thank you. Paragon Development of South Carolina LLC developer has submitted an application requesting approval for a special exception at 237 and 245 Maxey Street. The request is to allow a rooming, boarding home, group housing, dormitory used at this location. The building will be a 2-story building consisting of 3 units containing 6 bedrooms per unit. The property was recently rezoned to Zone A3, General Residential, which permits rooming, boarding home, group housing, dormitory use as a special exception. This request is for the special exception. We will now hear from a representative from Paragon, and then whomever else will be speaking. And all members are welcome to attend the meeting and speak, but you only have 5 minutes.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name is Eric Bird. I'm with Paragon Development.
And DeQuincy Edwards with Paragon Development.
The first part of the exception, we're basically just trying to make sure we accept the zoning of the apartments in that area. We've been charged with a task for a couple things. Number one, from the mayor to renovate Maxey, Dixie in that area. And also from the president of South Carolina State to try to get new, good housing for the growing university. So with that being said, we put together a plan to try to accommodate both those requests. And so that's what the first one that we're seeking for to have accepted.
Okay, so you're asking for a special exception, or, go ahead, I'm gonna let you speak and then,
No, he's,
oh, okay.
we together.
So you're asking, or Paragon is asking for a special exception to be used for rooming, boarding, home, group housing, or dormitory. A3, if I'm reading in the code correctly, Mr. Epting, A3 cannot be used for a rooming, housing, or dormitory, am I correct?
Not outright,
Go ahead.
not outright, but it is a special exception
Right,
in that area.
understand that, but
So-
what I'm saying, as far as the city code goes, the A3 is not for rooming, boarding, or dormitory housing for students.
Per our code, we don't have any zoning that would let a dormitory housing, student housing outright. They
Okay.
all require a special exception
Right.
through your.
Right, I understand that part, but I was just making sure
Yes, ma'am.
that the A3 does not, housing, boarding home, group housing, and dormitory does not fall under the A3 zoning for the city of Orangeburg. Okay, so my question to you,
Can I
Is-
add one more thing? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
my question to you, are these traditional apartments, or is this to be used as a boarding house?
They will be used for student housing,
Boarding house?
student housing.
Boarding house and student house.
Okay. Because in reading from what county council approved, there were questions about this being a boarding house or apartments. And I will quote from the Assistant City Administrator. He said, and that was City Administrator Williams stated, "From my understanding, it is supposed to be a student housing. I cannot speak to the actual plan development, but I know it's to accommodate the students." So here again, are these traditional apartments or they're boarding houses? Go ahead, Mr. Eppley.
If I may, what they have proposed tonight for the special exception is basically a 3-unit dormitory, which each one of the dormitories or each one of the units has six bedrooms. So it is not a traditional triplex for families. It is, what they're proposing to do, student housing, which means that they would be renting to different individuals per room, not per unit.
Renting per room?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any other board members? I come back with my question. Any,
So when you say, I do have a question. So when you say per room, is that one student per room or 2 students per room? How many students are we talking about per room?
These are all one student per room. They're all singles.
go ahead, yeah, anybody else have questions? You said one student per room?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many rooms are going to be in this? 6 bedrooms. So you got 6 bedrooms, so it's just gonna be 6 people, is what you're telling me?
It'll be a total of 18 because it's technically 3 apartments, a triplex. So there's There's 6 students in one unit.
Okay, so you got a two-story building consisting of 3 units, containing of 6 bedrooms, okay. 6 is 18, okay. Okay. So is that is this the piece of property or the building that's going up now that's already started, that's being built next to the park over on Maxey Street?
Yes, ma'am.
So this project has already began?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's next to that playground.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all mighty close to that playground.
And we will have, and also I'd like to add, we have other projects in the area that are similar to it, like on Dorchester,
Okay,
Clarendon
we're
Street.
just talking about this one right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we
But
just-
but
Go
we're doing
ahead.
the same, we're doing the same thing, meaning we have, fencing around the perimeter of the project, plenty of cameras, so forth and so on, but, it'll definitely be fenced in. I know it's next to the playground, but,
But as it's being built, when I rode by there, kids are out there playing. So there's no buffer or anything to protect them from something flying while it's being built? Because
should be silk fencing,
the,
between
the playground is right here, and what I saw was the poles in the ground, but there's no buffer to keep, like if the kids are over there playing in the playground as of now, as of today, there's no buffer to protect the kids if something were to fly off the top of that building while they're out there playing. Am I correct?
technically, yes.
Okay, that's what I saw when I went by, and I went by twice. And there is nothing to protect the kids. You are like, the building is over here, and there's a little space in here, but there's no buffer to protect Mr. Buck from playing on that playground. So that's a danger to the children in that area. Now, you may put that up afterward, but nobody thought about putting that up during the time of the building. And like Mr. Leonard said, you've already, and like I said, you've already started building, so,
If I may clarify, Ms. Chavis, or Mr. Huggins, Paragon was given tentative approval to start the foundational area of that project with the understanding that contingent upon this meeting, they may have to modify their presentation. That obviously is not what they desire, but due to the necessity for housing for the fall semester, they wanted to get as early a start as they could. So they were allowed to build the foundation process. They have not started.
understand that, so the city, go ahead.
Is that not getting the cart before the horse?
Well,
How did the city let them do that?
like we said, we gave them tentative approval to proceed with the project with the understanding that they will have to change boats midstream should this meeting not go as they desire. So it would fall under single-family home or something like that if it is not approved. They've only done the foundation as of now.
They got, I
Yeah,
mean,
but that means there's money already involved in the foundation and everything else. I thought,
it's a little more than foundation out there. They already got the building
that
up.
didn't seem very smart to me for the city to do that, to let them do that. I don't know who that falls on to, but
Question for zoning. And when you all approved them to do that, did you look at the park where the kids would be playing? Taking in consideration children out there playing as they're building? Because that's a big risk.
Did we look into it?
Yeah,
No, ma'am.
okay. So, anything happens to those kids that are out there playing, that's on Paragon, am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Just, because that looked very dangerous out there when I rode by there and I saw kids out there playing, and I'm like, park is here, kids are here. I mean, the park is here, and the big equipment, the machinery and everything is out there.
Can I say this? I'm from here, and I talked to the neighbors here, and we was putting fixing, but they asked, cause they cut through our property. I have asked them to stop cutting through our property through the building. But a lot of kids that live on the other street, and they cut through the property during the construction time. So
That doesn't
they-
make it better, that makes it worse.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, no, we was
No,
gonna
but
fence
still
it
yet,
up.
but still yet,
That's what I'm saying. We was gonna fence it up, but they asked
but
us.
you go fence it
They
up
gonna jump the
after-
fence and, no,
Yeah.
we was gonna do it now, but they cut through the property and asked us, I know people who grew up on that street. I
But,
know
but what
people-
what I'm saying is, from the board standpoint, if I rode by there and saw that there's no fence up to protect the kids now that are playing, I don't have anything to do with them cutting through the property. I'm just talking about the ones that are on the playground. I
Yeah, I
saw
understand.
kids playing on the playground, and the machinery, you know, the big, what they call forklifts and everything going on. My thing is, where is the safety for the kids that are out there playing as you are building? Because you have no buffer or anything there to protect the kids.
I understand that, and we can have that fence up to
Yeah,
that. I understand, but they asked that to keep going to the park after construction hours, obviously.
And sir, I would like to add that, we did, for their sake, we did submit a letter stating that we would take full responsibility if we had to make any alterations or anything that happened throughout the process if we did not get the zoning approval. So we understood what we were up against. And however, in the meantime, you know, trying to get student housing for the university by August, I mean, you have deadlines you have to meet. If you don't meet that August deadline, then you have to wait till the next year. So that's potential school, kids that can't come to school because they've been denied for housing.
I understand that, but I can't believe Paragon would go ahead and start something without making sure all the Ts were crossed and dots were i'd before they started. That's,
so my other question is, out of these 6 bedrooms, how many are for handicapped persons?
There's one per building that's required. Per unit, excuse me, one per unit.
So you got 3 units, so you're gonna have 3 handicapped bedrooms? You said 1 per unit.
Yes, I have to double check. I'm pretty sure it's it's either 1 per unit or 1 per building, but I really would like to confirm that. I'm thinking it's only 1 per building because the architect, when he did break the codes and stuff, he only put 1 handicap parking space.
Mr. Epting, I think I asked this question last time, and you told me the city ordinance says that they can do 1. But what does the federal guidelines say about handicap?
Our ordinance requires 1 parking space for handicap or accessibility for up to 25 parking spaces. So that would all that would be
That's the city?
required. That's all that would be required by the city.
By the city, but I'm asking about the federal regulations.
We don't enforce the federal regulations, we enforce what the city has.
Okay.
Question, Ms. Chavis.
Go ahead.
Just for clarification, are we saying, I'm confused between the term unit and building. So are we saying out of the 18, you have 3 handicap accessible rooms, or you have 1 throughout the entire 18?
The answer to that question is, we have 3 rooms that are handicap accessible, but I'm not sure how many are required. I think it's only 1
For the entire project.
for the entire building, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
So you say building, that means all 3 units, or,
Building means all 3 units, yes, sir.
okay, all right.
Okay, Mr. Epting, this that you gave us was for parking. We just speaking right now of, rooms. This was the parking. I hadn't gotten to the
Right.
parking yet. I'm speaking of rooms. So this is parking space that you gave me. I'm asking, does the city not have any special ordinance for handicap other than, like you say, 1 parking space?
It is based on the number of units a building has.
Oh.
Their building only has 3 units. And so if it had 4 units, then you are required to have 1 unit be handicapped accessible. With having only 3 units, by the building code, they do not have to have any handicapped accessible, but they do have 1.
Okay.
Go ahead. You had another?
No, ma'am,
Okay.
I'm clear now.
Okay.
I understand now.
All right, any more questions for Mr. Buck, Ms. Wright? Ms. Brown, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. So, I need a motion for the consideration of a request from Paragon of South Carolina.
Oh, can I stop you? Hey, you wanted to talk to the representative from the South Carolina last time? The school that leases the property?
That's dealing with the rooms.
Yes. Because the parking and rooms are different.
Well, we're not talking about
Oh,
parking. We
parking
ain't
right
got to
now.
parking yet. We're
But-
just dealing with the rooms. Special exception for the room and board and home group housing. Okay, we have a representative from,
South Carolina Real Estate Foundation?
okay, he's, that's what we were asking last time. State your name for the record, please.
Howard Jackson, Executive Director of the South Carolina State University Real Estate Foundation.
Okay, now, from our last meeting, we were told that the housing, let me get it right, housing real estate would be the ones that assign the rooms?
That's correct.
Okay. So, questions last time, and again this time, and we're still on this handicap. So when you assign the rooms, if you have, from what I understand, you got 18 rooms, right? 3 units, 6 bedrooms, so that'd be 18 bedrooms.
Yes.
If you had 3 or 4 handicapped students to come and apply for one of these rooms, how would you handle that?
Knowing that we only have 3 handicap accessible rooms, that's the only option that the students would have picked from. So in the spring, they select their rooms. So the available rooms, the available projects are all online. The students go online, they select what projects they want to stay and the room type. So if there's no accessible rooms available, then they would pick another location because there was only to be 3 rooms that's handicap accessible.
In other words, they would have a choice.
I understand that,
of
but
a
if this
different
is,
building.
right,
or a
but what I'm
different
saying is-
location.
Let
I
me try to
guess-
explain. So
Go ahead.
we pool all of our housing together.
okay, so housing is only for South Carolina State?
State University students, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I was
Yes.
told something different today.
So
But
we
anyhow,
only, the South Carolina State University Real Estate Foundation, we only house South Carolina State University students.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, so when they come through this process, it's as if they're staying on campus because we oversee that whole process. We'll lease the entire complex from them, as we've done with all the other off-campus facilities.
Okay, that's what I was just getting ready to ask you. The housing,
The real estate
real estate
foundation.
housing handles all off-campus
Yes, ma'am.
housing? Okay,
So the new project on Amelia Street, I think that you approved a couple of months ago, same process.
so the one right down there,
On
just before you get on the
voter
corner of
registration.
Amelia and Summers,
Yep.
that's State College as well.
That will, well, they haven't officially applied to us yet, but they will, I anticipate they will. It's being built for student housing for our students, but we haven't got an agreement with them as of yet.
Okay. Because that one didn't come before the board. But anyhow, so in these units, I'm looking at what your engineer wrote up. She's saying a half a space per bed. So are we talking one bed or two beds?
What do you mean a half a space?
That's dealing with parking. She's saying that 18 beds consists of nine parking spots.
Yes, ma'am, that's
So that's parking.
Okay,
That's what
okay,
she's saying.
okay, all right. Because I was just trying to figure out how you get a half space for a bed.
I'm not a PE.
I don't know what that is.
I'm just reading.
Yeah,
and-
I'm not a PE either, so I don't
Okay, all right, thank you for clarification. Thank you for clarification. And nothing better, and no wrong question, no question is a wrong question.
You right about that?
And no wrong answer, I mean, hey, just give, okay. So you're, Mr. Jackson, you're saying that all students will come through South Carolina State Real Estate Housing to be assessed or be granted one of the rooms in these complexes that are being built?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
No one will lease directly to them.
Okay, they're just the builders.
They're just the builders, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else with questions? Before they sit down? You be coming back. You be coming
Oh, I'll
back.
come back.
All of you will be coming back, because that's the first part. That's the first part. That was the special exception for the dormitory, the rooming, boarding home, group housing, and dormitory. Okay, can I get a motion for item number 1, the consideration of a request from Paragon Incorporation of South Carolina LLC for a special exception and parking, no, excuse me, that's the wrong one. Special exception at 237 and 245 Maxey Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, tax map number 173-15-14-03.000 and 173-15-14-033.000 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students.
So moved.
It's been moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by George Buck, second by Leonard Huggins. All in favor?
Aye.
You have to vote, show of hands, please. It has to be a unanimous vote. All opposed? So it is a tie. Has to be unanimous. It was 2-2. So the vote,
Ms. Chavis,
Go
real
ahead.
quick, can I get some clarification on this motion again?
we were voting on the special exception
To grant it or not?
to grant rooming, boarding home, group housing, dormitory use as a special exception.
And his motion was to grant it or not?
What was it, what was your motion? You moved to do what?
To not accept it.
Well, okay, let's redo the okay, thank you, Mr. Huggins. Let's redo the motion again, because you did not say that. You said, so moved.
No, I just called for the vote.
Okay, but we need to, for clarity,
Okay.
whether we are accepting
Okay. But,
or not. Okay,
no, we're just calling for the vote to start with.
right, I called for the vote, but then I asked for a motion for the consideration to approve, okay, let me redo it. Can we strike that? Mr. Epting, can I restate the motion? I mean, reread it and he give another motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to be sure. So when we go to AL judge, if we have to go that far, I didn't do anything wrong. I just want to be sure. All right. Item number 1 is the consideration of a request from Paragon of South Incorporation of South Carolina LLC for a special exception at 237 and 245 Maxey Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115. Tax map number 0173-15-14-034.000 and map number 0173-15-14-033.000 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students. I need a motion either to accept or deny the request for rooming, boarding, housing for students, if that makes it clear.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll
Okay.
make a motion that we grant, for item number 1 on the agenda, I'll make a motion that we grant the exception
Okay,
to be used for rooming, board, housing for students.
thank you, sir. Okay. Now that the motion has been made, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of granting the motion
Exception.
for rooming, housing, boarding, dormitory with the special exception, please show your hand, vote by show of hands. Okay. Any opposes? All right, it's still 2-2. Motion has been denied for the rooming, boarding, and housing for students. I'm going to skip to item number 3 since it deals with the same piece of property. The consideration of a request from Paragon Incorporated of South Carolina LLC for parking variance to the property at 237 and 245 Maxey Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115, tax map numbers 0173-15-14-034.000 and 0173-15-14-033.000 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students. As stated before, this item was combined with item number 1 back on January 29th, and it was tabled, and we're now moving it to take it from the table as a joint item to be dealt with separately. Can I get a motion to remove from the table and be voted, and addressed separately from what we did back on January 29th?
I make a motion that we remove from the table item number 3 on the agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to remove the item from being tabled back on January 29th to a separate item today. All in favor? Can I get a show of hands if you vote for it? All opposed? Okay, motion carried. So now, we're dealing with the parking this time. Last time we dealt with the use of boarding home, group housing, dormitory. Now with the parking, I guess the same group will be back with the parking?
Ms. Chavis,
Yes.
with the denial of the special exception, the parking is not, or does not become relevant anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. So then we'll go to, and what I'll do this time, the table items, I'll combine them together, but we will discuss them separately if need be. Item number 2 and number 4 was considered a joint item back on January 29, 2026, when it was presented to the board. Now I'm asking for a motion to take it from the being tabled as a joint item to pursue it as a separate item. Can I now get a motion for that? Item number 2 is the consideration of a request from Paragon Incorporation of South Carolina, LLC, for a special exception at 550 Bleakley Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115, tax map 173-15-22-002.000 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students. Okay, this is basically, okay, but the only exception for this one, this is a bigger unit, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need you.
So do you-
All right, this one is, they have submitted an application requesting approval for a special exception at 550 Bleakley Street. The request is to allow a rooming, boarding home, group housing, dormitory used at this location. The project will consist of 4 buildings this time. The buildings will be 3-story buildings consisting of 6 units containing 5 bedrooms per unit. Okay? The property is currently zoned B1, general business, which permits rooming, boarding, home, group housing, dormitory uses as a special exception. This special exception is a request. All right. Which one?
Yes, we're asking for a special exception to have room and board housing in the area of B1 for the purpose of student housing. It is a bigger lot and more room, and it's across the street from some more housing, student housing as well. So we're asking for an exception to accept it.
Anybody have any questions while I look at something here? Okay, so this property is coming off of, I'm trying to get my bearings right.
301 of Johnson County Drive in the corner of Blakely.
Bleakley is
Isn't that right?
going towards,
Johnson, Calhoun, Blakely,
And
got that
Blakely
light?
comes off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Across from the keg.
There you go.
Real
Huh?
quick.
It's across
What's
from
on
the
the
keg.
cake?
cross from where?
The keg.
Okay,
And,
that one I didn't
what is
look
that restaurant there?
Potbelly
Mama's
Cake.
Kitchen, or,
Yeah, I
Potbelly
think that's what it
Pig.
used to be, but it's not,
it
no,
used
it's
to
no,
be
no,
a
not-
fisherman,
no,
it
no,
used to be a fish place?
It's
Potbelly Pig.
Potbelly King now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, whatever, okay. So you're asking for, it's gonna be a 3-story building consisting of 6 units containing 5 bedrooms. So that was the other one. So that's gonna be a total of 3 units, 30 bed,
Yes, ma'am.
30 total?
Yeah.
That's what, I just wanna make sure my math right, 30 total? Okay. So, and then I take it here again, we're only going to have the one handicap.
Ms. Chavis, with each one of the buildings containing 6 units, each one of the buildings will have to have a accessible unit in it.
Okay, so,
Each building has 5 units.
can we do this? I know what we were trying to,
They're 3-story buildings with 2 units per floor, 5 bedrooms in each unit. So that means there's 6 units total in each building.
okay, but what I was getting at was, the parking. Because,
Parking, you gonna vote on both of them?
well,
together?
I was looking, the last one we did, okay, the parking, never mind. We'll take up that if need be. All right, so handicap room in each one of the units, right, is what you're saying?
Each one of the buildings will have an
Three-story building, so each building-
accessibility unit.
Well, this. Okay, this unit is gonna be 4 buildings, right, or 3? It says the project will consist of 4 buildings.
4 buildings. And each one of the buildings
Okay,
will
so,
have
so
3
we're looking at
floors.
one so it'll be
Three
four
floors.
handicap spots. I'm just asking,
Ma'am,
is it gonna be 4 handicap rooms?
there will be 4 in,
Okay.
yes, 1 in each one of the
Okay,
buildings.
okay, because the other one was 2-story building with 3 units. I'm confused, but anyhow, so it could be 4 handicap.
Whatever the required number of handicap parking spaces, it will be
Okay,
designed in the
That,
plan.
that's what
Yes.
I skip, don't worry about that.
Okay.
I tell you, I'm telling, don't worry about the B.
Okay.
Because I tabled the parking, we
Yeah.
come back to the parking. We'll come back to that parking. I was just wanting to make sure that each building was going to consist of a handicap spot, a handicap room. And here again, the foundation will be determining, they will put it out there, and that will be the, they will go through the, real estate foundation to get a room. And, so, Mr. Jackson.
Yes, ma'am?
Hypothetically, I have a child coming to the state, and the property on Maxey Street is, I want to say, more conducive for my child. I'm just hypothetically now. Don't shoot me, don't shoot me, okay? But, and I say, I want the handicap apartment in this complex. And then you have a couple of more handicapped students that probably applied before I did, but my situation may be a little more.
So the process is, in the spring, they apply for rooms for the fall.
Okay,
They have to pay a deposit,
gotcha.
so it's on a first come,
Okay,
first served.
that's what I want to know.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if my child was, and
If
and
your
I
child
came
was
in-
late getting there,
well, I understand if I'm
Right.
late getting there, and look, I got to accept what I can
Right.
get. But what I'm saying is, if you had 2 or 3 that came in about the same time, handicap, you know,
well, that what, so,
how would you?
let me further clarify the process.
Okay.
So, beginning this year is gonna be tiered.
Okay.
Meaning, the graduating seniors
Okay,
would have first, so they'll have a,
slide,
time frame
Gotcha.
to apply for housing for the fall.
okay,
Then it'll be the juniors,
okay.
sophomore. Freshmen have to stay on campus, so they're not even an
Oh,
option.
okay, so they're not, okay,
Right.
you've answered that question, because I
Okay.
didn't know whether the freshmen would be allowed, okay.
Yeah, all
that-
freshmen have to stay on campus. Yes, so Graduating seniors,
Juniors,
juniors,
sophomores.
sophomores, yes, it'll be tiered
Okay,
that way.
That's,
yes.
it's tiered from.
Because we want the folks closest who are gonna be graduating to ensure
Right.
that we have housing for them to get them on out into the workforce.
Because what I was hearing earlier is that students were being turned down because, and I understand the housing situation on both campuses and as well as the ones that are
You
coming in.
said students were being turned down. What do you mean?
Yeah, we'll leave that one. But I was told that there were some 600 students that could not afford housing, but from what I was told, it did not directly affect South Carolina
So let
State.
me clarify that
It
maybe.
did not directly affect you.
Well, there's a number of students that applied for housing, but we just didn't have enough housing.
Right, but see, what I.
Not that they
was-
couldn't afford housing, we
Right,
just
right,
didn't
and
have
what
an
I was saying
inventory.
that some students were turned down and had to go back home because there wasn't. But from the conversation did not deal with what you were telling me now.
Right.
Okay, but you.
And we had more than that. We had we had 15,000 students apply
Right,
last
yeah,
year.
right.
And we only accepted 1,500
Okay.
because we don't have housing. Correct.
Right.
So that's
I
what
got
these
that.
guys
I-
are trying to help us to do.
Yeah, I understand what you're
Okay.
saying, but, you know, when I got a call today, it was something totally different.
Right.
So you have explained to me, clarified to me what was explained to me earlier today.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
But you answered my handicap situation. It's seniors, juniors, sophomores.
Correct.
So if it's a senior, junior, or sophomore that has a handicap situation, first come, first served.
That's
If I apply, you put it out there tonight, I jump on it and sign up tonight, I'm
Correct.
good to go. Okay,
Yes.
you've answered my question.
Okay.
And you've clarified a whole lot for me too. Thank you. Anybody else questions for Mr. Jackson?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now we're back to granting a special exception on Bleakley. Go ahead.
What are you gonna do about, you gonna put the parking together on that
No,
one too?
no, we do that separately. Since I did the other one separately. But now, it's up to the board. If you want to do the parking at the same time, that's fine. What do you say, Mr. Huggins? The parking for the five unit, the 4 unit, 4 buildings that consist of the 3-story buildings containing 5 bedrooms, you want to do the parking along with that one, or you want to?
I think we should consider them separate.
Okay, so we do them separate. All right, so now,
But that's me. I mean,
the request on the floor, item number 2. The consideration of a request from Paragon Incorporated of South Carolina, LLC, for special exception at 550 Bleakley Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115, tax map number 10173-15-22-002.000 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students. The request for a special exception. I need a motion to accept or deny the request.
I have some questions.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm reading the briefing here, and it says the project will consist of 4 buildings. The buildings will be 3-story buildings consisting of 6 units containing 5 bedrooms.
Okay.
So 6 units, could somebody explain 6 units, 5 bedrooms? What does that mean?
Certainly. So, each building has 3 floors, okay? On each floor, there's 2 units, one on the left side, one on the right side. And each one of those units has 5 bedrooms in it. So when you go to the second tier, the first tier would have 10 students. The second tier would have another 10 students. The third tier would have another 10 students. All singles, all singles.
Okay,
And what I mean by single is there has been a strong request from parents such as myself, where if I send my daughter off to school, they want their own bedroom, they want their own bathroom, and they want their own closet space. And that's what we're accommodating in this project and the other projects.
so a total of 30 beds.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Makes sense.
Any more questions?
No,
So this picture that I'm looking at, is this Bleakley?
Yes.
Some small apartments. So, and in each apartment, there's a common area?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
In the kitchen area.
right. So they have their own bedroom, bathroom, closet space.
Yes.
So if I'm upstairs, over here is another room. I'm just, okay, I'm looking
Yeah,
at when
yeah.
my child went to school.
Yeah,
He was in like a condo type setting, and he had upstairs, well, they had 3 rooms upstairs and 1 downstairs, but he had his own room, shower and everything.
Right, so
And
once
then-
you walk in a bedroom, you walk in that bedroom door, the only thing that's inside that bedroom is 1 bedroom, 1 shower, 1 closet.
Okay.
That belongs to that 1 student.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
And then if the other 5 bedrooms, they got their own doors. So they go in their bedroom, they got the same setup.
right, because he could lock his, okay, I'm with you. That's good. Yes, go ahead, question?
No, that's about portion.
I have a video to show you, if you wanna see how it looks in the county, what we doing in the county, not in the city. If you, to help you,
I got,
I mean, I know that, I like the. I'm
Oh, you like visual.
I like, yeah, I'm not a,
okay,
I mean.
well, we can. Oh, excuse me. Okay,
That's in that book you got there.
huh,
That's
yeah,
in that book.
yeah, okay. Okay, good, thank you. Does it have, there's a balcony to it as well, or no balcony?
No balcony.
Just straight up rooms, and you come down, but the steps
A covered,
are covered?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right,
No, we don't want the balconies, we don't want the curtains to smoking and, leaving off balconies and stuff like that. We don't.
okay.
We all went to college.
I understand. They're college students, I understand them. They're college students. Gotcha. All right. Any more questions?
Well, I got another question. I don't have a problem with the dormitories being built there, but I do have a problem with the parking spaces.
Okay,
So we're gonna vote on, now, last time, it nulled the parking, and we voted against the
Because
thing.
there's no reason to vote on parking, because once you voted against having the dormitory there, then there's no reason to vote on parking,
Right.
because parking is,
But this,
For
so
that
this
is-
time we voting on just the buildings
ju-
themselves.
well, that was what you
or
were
the
voting.
Or changing the zone.
that's right.
You're
that-
voting
We're
on
giving
the
a special
special
exception.
exception.
Yeah,
Special exception is what you're voting on. And that's what you were voting on to start with over on Maxey
last
Street as well.
that's why I asked if we wanted to combine the,
Because we had,
We willing to.
No,
change-
no, I'm talking about
saying
my
for
board
Mr.
members.
Buck, we willing to talk about parking. So
Right,
we can
right,
do the
right.
project, and we
Right.
gotta add more spots. We
right,
have
but
that.
no, I was
Yeah.
talking to my board members, that's why I asked if we wanted to combine the parking as well as the special exception.
may
To
I
the-
ask, was the denial based on the parking?
No, I'm talking to my board member.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Trying to get him to understand, the question was, when we got to item number 2, did we want to combine 2 and 4 together? That was my question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and 1 and 3
Okay, okay, okay. That's where my question came in at. And then it said, we went ahead and did it separately, which was item number 2, to grant the special exception. And then, like Ms. Epton said, if we grant the special exception, then we will get to the parking. Okay?
On this deed, on this piece of property, how about this triangle down here on the end? Is that open space?
That's not part of our property.
Oh, it's not part of, that's something, okay.
Okay, oh,
Love to have it, but
that would make things a little bit better, right?
and we also had an old building on that piece of property. That's, we updating that site plan now. We're gonna demolish that old building to add more parking. We tried to keep it, there, but we can't. So we're gonna demolish it. It's where the, farmer's market used to be, that block red building, right there on Blakely.
Yeah.
We're gonna demolish that and add more parking.
So that is your,
We tried to keep that, but we couldn't.
that's your building?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
that's on our land.
Okay. Okay, so now we're back to the consideration of the motion to grant the exception for the property to be used for rooming, boarding, housing, dormitory for students, even though it has been, granted the A3. And we know that housing, dormitory housing cannot be,
That one's not A3, ma'am.
that one's not an A3,
No,
I'm
ma'am,
sorry.
that's B1,
That's a
general
B1,
business.
so that one's fine.
Yeah, this one's fine.
It's a special exception, just like in the other district, it's a special
So
exception.
the B1 can be a dormitory housing
As a special exception.
with the, oh, okay. Okay, that's general business.
Basically, a special exception is saying that you've looked at the neighborhood, you've decided that what they're wanting to do may not be exactly what fits in that zoning, but you feel like it's not going to diminish the properties around it. You don't feel like it's going to cause any issues in the area, that it's actually going to make properties in that area of the values come up. And so you're allowing something that is not permitted outright by the zoning ordinance. There's nowhere in our zoning ordinance that allows outright a dormitory or student housing or rooming housing. Those are all special exceptions which comes before you to decide if it is a good fit or not a good fit for that area.
All right, thank you. All right, can I get a motion to accept or deny the use of 550 Bleakley Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, to Paragon Incorporated of South Carolina LLC, tax map number 0173-15-22-002.000. Motion, please.
I make a-
I make a motion that we accept it. The property.
And I second it.
Okay, so the motion is to accept
Or
the
Special-
consideration for special exception at 550 Bleakley. Am I correct? Okay. Motion has been made by Mr. George Buck, second by Mr. Leonard Huggins. All in favor? Show of hands. All right. Any opposers? Our motion carried. So you have the motion to do 550 Bleakley. Now we'll talk about parking.
There you go.
All right. The consideration of a request from Paragon Incorporated of South Carolina LLC for parking variance to the property at 550 Bleakley Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115, tax map number 0173-15-22-002 to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students. This item was also combined at the last meeting. I need a motion to remove, and it was tabled. I need a motion to move it from table to being pursued tonight as a separate item.
I make a motion to remove it from the table.
I have a motion to remove it from the table. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second that we remove it from the table and pursue it as a separate item tonight. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Nays? Okay, motion passed. All right, so now we're talking about parking. And it's my understanding from Mr. Epton, you saying that they only have to have, so in this case, one parking space for
Per bedroom.
bedroom.
One parking space per bedroom.
Okay, and they're asking for a reduction of 30 parking spaces?
They may have an updated amount on that, because they may have an updated amount. This was the information that we had prior to them looking at demolishing the building. So do you have an updated amount of parking spaces that you're planning to put there?
She has not completed the updated version, but she mentioned that it was a possibility, maybe another 10 to 12 spaces from removing that building.
Making a total, I think, 70, between 70, 75 spaces, 70, 72 spaces.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Question, in the last thing, you had 57 parking places. You're required to have 120, is what it says in my thing. Is that correct? That's what we had last week, last
Right.
month.
Right.
Correct. That per our ordinance, one per bedroom, and there's 120 bedrooms that they're looking at doing on the project.
And it, all right, but this one says 57 pieces. How many are you anticipating adding more, or are you trying to get a variance on sticking with the 57?
No, we're trying to add more. That 57 had the building on it, had that block building on
Right.
that. So we demolishing that building. And the PE says between 10 to 12 spots for that area. And then we're also looking at a piece of property that's for sale. If you go Blakely, it's like Fish Market, and then it's like an empty lot right there for more overflow parking. So we're trying to find some overflow parking for guests and that kind of stuff. We're trying to worry about as much parking as we can on the 1.5, and then buy some overflow parking. We really don't want to go across the street. They got a building across the street. I don't want the kids to cross the major highway to come. But the side street, it have the opportunity on Blakely that has a vacant lot right there for more parking.
So for right now,
Right now, about
what
70
we're
spots.
dealing with
Yeah.
tonight, based on what you presented to us, is just the 57 parking spaces. Until
There you go.
until demolition and everything else is done, we're looking, your request to us tonight is for the 57. That's what's written.
That's at the moment, yeah. That's what we have, you see right now.
So, go
No,
ahead.
their request would be for whatever they can get on the lot with that demolition. The information that I had when we put the packets together did not show or recognize that they were going to be removing that
That-
building and adding an additional 10 to 12 spots.
So that's where my question is coming in at.
So
We
you-
can,
You will be
grant-
looking at adding the 10 to 12 spots to what we had on.
okay, okay. I just want to be sure that we
Yes,
could do that. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else?
Yes,
Discussion? Go
yes,
ahead.
I'm looking for some clarification here as well. Okay, so at 550 Bleakley, I'm guessing, and the package said 550 Buckley, but the agenda says 550 Bleakley, which are two different streets.
Oh.
Um,
Thank you.
So, we're talking about Bleakley here, which was what we just voted on for the exception, the special exception.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so are we going from 30 beds to 120 beds?
So it's 30 beds per building, it's 4 buildings.
Okay.
So let me be clear. Just like Mr. Huggins said, are we talking Bleakley or Buckley?
Bleakley.
Okay, because you got Buckley on item 4. And Bleakley on
It's the same,
item 2.
then it just spelled different, but it's the same.
On which,
They're not the same street.
Okay, when you
Which
look
area?
at
Whole-
item
totally
number
different
2
street.
in the packet, it says Paragon Development of South Carolina LLC developer submitted an application requesting approval for special exception at 550 Bleakley. That's item number 2. And then when we go over to,
It's the same street.
It's not the same street. Bleakley is another street, Buckley is another street.
but yeah, but item number 4, your item 4, no, that's item,
Bleakley is right across the creek.
right here, here.
that is an error on our part.
Okay,
Rewrote
okay,
that.
yeah.
We
Okay.
put that,
I live
the
over
packets together. This has
Right.
nothing to do with Paragon. This is
Oh,
all
okay,
from
okay,
us.
I just want to be
We're-
sure.
We're going through and trying to get all the areas out of it,
Right.
but there are
Okay,
unfortunately, that happens.
okay,
And-
that's why I
But it
just
is
wanted,
Blakely,
I
it's
just wanted
only one
clarification.
street that they're asking
I
about,
just
not
wanted
Buckley.
I just wanted clarification on that, because
Yes, ma'am.
item 4 said Buckley. That's why we were asking that question. Okay.
May I add one more thing?
Go ahead.
Also, last time, when we were talking about parking, that's when a lot of the questions came up for the university, real estate foundation. So, they have a process also with, dealing with parking. So that is a piece that needs to, I think probably need to be considered, in that decision-making.
Okay. You might as well stay put. Because I'm gonna call you. When it comes to parking, prayerfully, hopefully, once they demolish and get everything cleared off, you will have the appropriate spots for parking.
No, we don't do that. What we do, we have a shuttle system. So meaning, I won't say a large number of our students, but a good portion of our students don't have transportation.
Okay,
So we shuttle them back and forth. We run a shuttle 12 hours a day, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They run on all of our properties that we have off campus,
Okay.
to campus.
okay.
And so if this would be added under our umbrella of housing, we would add that as one of the stops as well.
Oh, but, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
I understand now. 'Cause I
Oh,
was about
okay.
to say something, but you just clarified.
Okay, so, with that being said, you got 30 units, I'm going back to your 30 units.
No,
Well, no, 120 beds,
24 units,
120 bedrooms.
120 bedrooms,
120 bedrooms, 24 units.
and that's one person per bedroom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, if all these students that occupy those bedrooms come with a car, preferably you will have enough parking spaces when you do what you demolishing buildings and buying another lot. Understanding what you said about the shuttle.
Well, let me say this too, Madam Chair.
That'll help.
None of our properties are 100% with students with vehicles. They may be at the most 60%.
Okay, so that means if a student comes and they have a car and you don't have enough parking.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So, our facility behind Applebee's, okay, it used to be the Jameson Inn.
Oh, okay.
That's one of our properties now as
Oh, okay.
well. So that's probably the highest percentage of students who have vehicles.
Oh,
And that's probably 70%, but that's an outlier. Most of our properties, you may only have a little upward of 50 to 60% of the students who actually have transportation. Yes, that's why we have the shuttle service.
And what happens if the shuttle's not working?
We have backup shuttle
Oh,
service.
okay. I'm just
Because
asking.
remember, we have to get them to class.
Huh? Oh,
The
yeah.
shuttle is to get them to class.
Oh, yeah.
That's the primary focus of the shuttle, is to get them back and forth to class, to campus.
I just asked the question.
Yes, ma'am. But so
Go
far,
ahead, go ahead.
so far, the shuttle has never broken down. Let me not
Okay.
forward so far.
Okay.
And they're in walking distance to the school, the university.
They're not walking no more, but they got e-bikes and
I know they got
scooters,
them
and
little
yeah,
scooters, yeah.
and
Yeah, 'cause they do try to
and then
run
we
you
have
over on the road.
charging stations they can charge in their rooms,
Oh,
so they
okay.
got
Oh, okay.
e-bikes and that kind of stuff.
So if they have the little scooters, they are able to
Charging, yep.
put them in their rooms? Oh, okay, okay. That's a good thing. Don't have to worry about nobody trying to take it.
There you go.
So, ma'am, if
Go
I can.
ahead. Go ahead.
So 90% of the students that we currently get are on some type of financial aid, right? Meaning they get little or no support from home. We only have 10% of the students who fall in the other category. But of that 10%, it's not like we get 100% of them. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Right.
some are on the football team, band,
Right,
and
right.
some of those other things. So the majority of our students fall in that category. So they probably won't have transportation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I
Gotcha.
want to make sure that's clear. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. Because mine didn't have transportation. He had to take the shuttle.
Yes.
Yeah. But he finished. All right. Any other questions?
So I'm clear. The project will consist of 120 beds, which would require a total of 120 parking spaces. The developer is requesting a variance from 120 spaces to 57 parking spaces. That's what this, and I don't know
That-
about any kind of tear down or reconstruction.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I'm reading what's here. So it's 120 beds, requires 120 parking spaces. The developer is requesting a variance from 120 spaces to 57 spaces.
I thought it was 60 with ADA. I didn't see 50. I mean, you might be right. I just
Oh, that's right. You got to account for the
handicap.
handicap.
So I didn't. Yeah, I thought it was 60 total. But.
Oh, I'm only reading what.
No, I understand. I
And
got 'em.
so that's less than 50% of parking spaces for the number of beds that you all are requesting.
At the moment.
That's less than 50%.
At the moment. But I'm very confident that it'll be at least 60. I'm very confident it'll be at least 60 because the building takes up at least three parking spaces, the one that we're demolishing.
Like 10,
Okay.
12.
Then you'll be at 50%.
Yes.
No, we'll be around 70, be 70 over.
120, 57, you say at least three, that'll be 60.
Yes, that's correct.
So that'll be 50%.
No, that building has more than 3 parking spots.
Yeah, but we're saying we'll be around the 50%
No,
mark.
you say 3 parks from the building.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
She's saying between 10 to 12 from the building to be demolished.
So you'll be adding potentially 10 to 12 parking spaces.
From the 57.
From the, okay, all right. Okay, that was gonna be my next question.
Okay.
Yes.
And we also, inside the setbacks, we talked to David and Russell about that, we can have e-bike areas and charging areas for that as well in the setback areas.
Okay.
So the setbacks from the park, that setback, that 20 feet off the road, or that, all the setbacks, we could have charging stations and EV stations for scooters and other types of cars in there. If they want to keep them outside. Now, normally they don't, they put them in their room, but if they do want to chain them outside, we have that in that as well.
Understood, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
I'm all for building the dormitories for State College, I really am. But I really have a hard problem with the parking situation, especially this project. But and you've got that extra piece of land, I don't know how many, it's just too far apart. for me, and it does not meet the code for the city. And I'm all about, I mean, I used to be a builder, and they were hard on me about the code. And, you know, we always tried to abide by the code, and that's what we're supposed to do, is abide by the code. And I would like to make a motion.
Before you make your motion, let me ask, Mr. Epton, were there setbacks supposed to be, because I don't see any setbacks in this group, this set of, information. I know the last set, we had setbacks.
All their buildings will meet the setbacks that are required. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. Okay, now you can go ahead.
Can I make a motion at this
Go
time,
ahead.
David?
If I may say that all the requirements that are in our zoning ordinance will be met, except for the parking if you give them a variance. Other than that, if they don't get the variance, then they will have to meet the parking requirements as well.
Okay, we gave them the
Special exception.
special exception, so now we're dealing with parking and
Yes, ma'am.
parking only. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
And for clarity again, in our last meeting, there was no discussion about demolishing buildings and potentially having other parking spaces, or to create other parking spaces. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, David, you're saying that they're gonna have to meet that code for parking unless they come back and ask for another exception?
Unless you grant them a variance tonight on the parking, then they will have to meet the requirements of the ordinance for parking.
So we
You've
voting
given
on
them a
tonight, we
special-
voting tonight on, we're gonna vote on the property as is now.
You voted on the special exception and granted them the special exception.
Right.
So now dormitories can go on that property. The amount of dormitories or the number of units or bedrooms is now dependent on parking and the number that they can fit on the lot. If you grant them the variance to the amount of parking, then that would allow them to do the number of units that they're, or in built bedrooms that they are looking at this particular time.
Board members, what is your
Well,
pleasure?
I withdraw my,
What-
trying to make a motion because we need to vote on the parking.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's what we're dealing with now, parking. We've already granted them the variance to build. So they're going to be able to build the 5 units.
He said, David just
No,
said that we gave them that.
You've granted them a special exception, which allows the dormitories on that parcel. Now, they still have to meet what our ordinance requires for the amount of land that they have, both for parking and buildings at this time. They're asking for a variance tonight on the number of parking so that they can build a 120 bedroom, 4-building complex, dormitories, so that, and they're asking a reduction in the property and in the parking so that they can get that amount of units and bedrooms on that parcel. With the layout as they have it. Because if they come back with a different layout, it may change the amount of parking that they can place there, and get more parking there. Again, what I'm saying is that you've granted them the special exception. They have to meet our ordinance now, so that part is behind you. What you're voting on now is whether you're going to grant them a variance on the number of parking places that they have to provide with the number of units that they are asking to build there at this time.
So your ordinance is saying they have to have 120 parking spaces.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I just want to be clear on.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then they're asking to reduce that to 57,
Well,
in
they're-
addition to probably
Another
more,
10 to
once they
20
clear
12,
other
yes.
land. Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me, may I ask what the process is if it's denied? Because we would, of course, we would like to, we just was running against the time, we would like to get a layout that's a lot closer to what the ordinance are. And if it's denied, then what is the process to resubmit that back to the board? How does that work? I'm not sure, I'm just asking.
As I stated earlier, if we deny you, then, correct me if I'm wrong, David, they go to AL judge? Or can they come back? In this situation, we talking parking.
Only if they want to appeal your decision
Oh,
would
okay.
they go to
To the AL
to-
judge.
Would they move forward with a judge? If they want to resubmit and go through the process again,
Okay.
with different information, as long as the information is changed and not asking the same
Okay,
request,
thank
you.
then you
Okay.
can do that.
Okay, okay. So right now, they're requesting a variance for parking at 550 Bleakley Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina, 29115, tax map number 173-15-22-002.000, to be used for rooming, boarding, housing for students. And according to the city's ordinance, they would need 120 parking spaces, but they're asking us for a variance from the 120 to 57 spaces. Am I correct? Am I saying this all correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so our motion would be to either they have to comply with the city's ordinance, or we grant them the 57. Based on what they have told us, and based on what Mr. David has said to them, they can come back to you with another plan. Once they clear off that land and everything is in order, they can come back with that parking space plan to you and come back to the board?
If they decide to do that, yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So what is the pleasure of the board? Are we going to grant them the variance for the 57 spaces, or leave it with the city's ordinance at 120 spaces?
Okay, I have a question, Ms. Chavis. And I'm glad you asked that question just now,
Okay,
because once the demolition is done to the other buildings that you have there, if it turns out to be 5 spaces, I mean, you were saying 10 to 12 now, but if it turns out to be 5, then we're sort of back where we are between, at right around 50%. If it turns out to be 12 or 15, then I think this is a little different. So my question is, you know, we're just hypothetically throwing out numbers here. So how do we know that if, I mean, they may come back and it only creates 3 spaces. How do we know that we've got only to 50%, which would be 60, or we've gotten to almost 75? How do we know that?
So if you came up with a number that you needed tonight, and then you stated that, then that's what they would have to come up with in order to be able to move forward. Other than that, if it was less than that, then they would not be able to meet your order or your demands, and so they would not be able to move forward that way.
So this board would be responsible for putting a number of spaces that we would consider acceptable?
I'm saying you have that capability to do that. You have that power to do that.
to say more than the 57. To say we can add to the 57.
You can.
Oh,
mean,
I'm
that's-
understanding you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You have the power to decide what what you want to go with.
Okay, oh, okay.
That's your choice, but again, if they're going by what they can fit on the property and what they can fit with the design that they have at this particular time.
But to answer, the percentage would be helpful though. Because
Sorry?
a percentage will be helpful because we might have to, if you tell me we need 75 spots, but then I say I gotta take a building off and I don't have 120 kids in no more. So that do change the percentage. So percentage does help.
You know, and another reason why we asked for the variance, because it's consistent with other student housing projects in the area. We just didn't decide, we just wanna, you know, break the ordinance or anything. We was considering the things that have been accepted in the past.
Well, I hate to tell you, but this is a different board than the past, and the code says one per bedroom. And that's what we got to look at.
Okay,
Yeah,
I understand.
Let me ask you, how many units do you have in the city? As opposed to outside the city limits? Because their zoning is totally different from ours.
No, we have built homes in the city.
I know you build homes, I'm talking about
No,
complexes
build
like this.
complexes in
Yeah.
the city, all the
Yeah.
recent new ones are in the city.
How
Right
many
off,
do you-
What's that,
Lavelle?
Lavelle, we built those.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right now,
Frederick Street, that
Pleasure
was city.
Street, that was in the city, moved to the county.
That's the county.
He was,
So would you say about 3 or 4, 4 or 5?
well, Max and Blakely, yeah, be about
Max
4 or
and
5.
Blakely is gonna
Yeah.
be your
3
and
like
4.
4 or 5.
4, okay,
Mhm.
okay. Because what I was looking at, you know, a lot of people look at the city zoning and the county zoning, and they're totally different, yeah. But anyhow, okay, so now we're,
And we was going by we asked around developers and like Railroad Corner, we kind of went off their numbers as well.
oh, okay, oh, okay,
That's in the city.
right.
Well, we got to vote on the exception for the parking there.
Yeah, that's where we're at. And Mr. Huggins, you were saying about the, percentage or, giving them a specific number or?
Well, I was asking about that. I think that's a little bit much for us to decide, but you know, if we have that power, then
Okay,
then we could consider that.
yeah. So board members, what's your pleasure? Because right now, they have to comply, if we do not grant the variance, they will have to comply with the city, 120 spaces.
That would be
Keep
a-
in mind, what would happen is they will have to reduce the number of units, or not units, but the number of bedrooms.
Right.
And so they would only be able to get the number of bedrooms that
To the-
match the number
park.
of parking spaces
Right.
that they have, room to put on the parcel.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson, you said your current properties, if you would.
Yes, sir.
You said your current properties, as far as students having cars, you said it's at around 60%?
Yes. That's correct. I said the outlier would be the Chestnut Street property, was about 70%.
Okay, all right, understood.
Can I get a
Could-
motion? Go ahead.
Brought up something as well. So the Railroad Corner project also falls under us. And I don't even know what that parking situation
And
is
I
going to
don't
be.
either. We have
So-
not had that one come
Yeah.
before us yet, so.
But
we
have they
can't-
applied to you guys yet?
They won't
Okay,
need to go
so we
before that.
can't,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
They don't need to go before, they are a B1,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not B1, B2
Okay.
zoning. So actually, they do not need to have to provide any type of
Right.
parking. So, You know, that's a situation.
Yeah, their business,
And they're gonna have 126 beds.
but like you said, they don't
Yeah,
have.
no,
to-
I'm just
yeah.
pointing
Yeah, I
out that
understand.
they, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yeah, 126 beds.
Well, I mean, if we have the power to put a percentage on this, this is just me just doing some quick calculations here, and also trying to be fair. If they have 57 spaces, and we get, considering you saying 70% out by Applebee's, that's quite a distance, so I could understand why more students would need cars. But in the location that just Bleakley is in, they don't walk anymore. It is in walking distance. You can ride bikes and skateboards and whatever you need to do that. If we got to 55% beds, parking spaces, that means you guys get us 9 more spaces, 66, from 57 to 66. For me, I think that's fair, considering location, considering the number that you all can feel you can get with the demolition. I don't think that's much to ask. Anybody can agree or disagree, and we can make if we need to make a motion for such thing, we can do that.
Need a motion
Make a motion.
and talk so they can record the motion.
Okay.
Anybody,
Oh, I agree that we make a motion.
I can't hear you.
I say I agree that we make a motion.
I make a motion that we grant the exception for parking with the idea or with, this motion be granted with the exception that at least we get to 55% of parking spaces to the number of beds that's being considered for this property. If my calculations are correct, that's 120 beds, requiring 66 parking spaces, which means they would have to find space for an additional 9 cars.
Can I get a second?
A second.
It's been moved that we grant the special exception for parking with at least 55% of the beds, the number of beds with the parking spaces for the housing, room and boarding housing for students. Any questions? All in favor? It's been moved and properly second. All in favor? Can I get a show of hands? Any opposes? One oppose? All right. Motion has been granted for you to get at least 66 parking spaces instead of the 57. So that will be an additional 9 to which the 57 that you asked for. Am I correct? Dave? Am I correct on that, David?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We granted them the 55%, which would make it 66 parking spaces. They asked for 57, so they have to get an additional 9.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so they won't have to come back. Okay,
No, as long, we won't let them move forward with the project unless they can show us that they are
Okay.
able to come up with that number.
okay. And with that being said, you have 1 year to complete that project, which I know you all are trying to do by August of 2026.
Not this one.
Good luck, okay? All right,
No, this was like
huh?
This is 27.
it's for 2027. This
Okay,
building,
so they still have time, yeah.
yes.
This
Yeah,
building's
from this, from, yeah, you got 1 full year.
Okay.
So 2027 is your full year.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? All right. We have completed our business. Do you, Mr. Epling, have anything else on the,
No, ma'am.
it's almost 8 o'clock. Anybody else wanna, any other? We eventually will decide on our officers at some point in time. When we get, I guess, 5 to 6 persons
We
or,
can get at least 5 in here.
yeah, 5, okay. All right, but nothing else. This meeting is adjourned at 7:49.